Back in 1997, governments from several countries gathered up in Kyoto to sign an agreement. This agreement is accepted by most countries, but it started a controversy, as most countries in the world agreed to it. Thus America, China, and Australia disagreed.
The Kyoto Protocol is an international agreement linked to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which commits its parties by setting internationally binding emission reduction targets. The Kyoto Protocol was adopted in Kyoto, Japan on 11 December 1997 and entered into force on 16 February 2005. The detailed rules for the implementation of the protocol were adopted at COP7 in Marrakesh, Morocco in 2001 and are referred to as the Marrakesh Accord. Its first commitment period started in 2008 and ended in 2012.
I disagree with Kyoto Protocol because North America is a carbon sink. Because we preserve forests, we actually absorb more carbon than we put in the air. China is a fast carbon polluter. Kyoto gives them a pass. This is simply an attack on American capitalism. That's why it's supported by a Chinese bow administration and the liberal left.
I disagree with the Kyoto Protocol because the Kyoto Protocol is the treaty that does not change much on the international level and burden countries that are already burdened by the effect the 2008 regulation. This results in the developing country to take advantage of the treaty and use a max carbon they require to boost their economic while the developed country are compensating for the emission by cutting their emission. This acts result in economic slowdown which does not help a country recover its economy. In addition to this, the Kyoto Protocol does not accomplish too much. It's only able to delay climate change by around a week.
Okay, I disagree with this Kyoto Protocol because the Kyoto Protocol is not cut the number of the greenhouse gases production. Because if you see the content of this Kyoto Protocol, you can see that they still allow the unindustrialized country or the developing country to produce more and just limit the developed country to produce the greenhouse gases. So if you count it globally, the net effect will be zero, or it might be worse because we might still see the increase of this greenhouse gases production. So I believe there should be a better proposal or better protocol than the current Kyoto Protocol that will address this issue in global cut of the greenhouse gases. Not just like the current Kyoto Protocol, which is I believe is just a redistribution, not cut the greenhouse gases production.
I think that the Kyoto Protocol is ridiculous. It cannot reduce the global warming issue. That it contains that every country must contribute to reduce carbon for this entire planet. But some like example in the United States, they don't want to sign this treaty. They just want to run their industry, so they can make money but without pay anything. But with this kind of situation, it's like an other country cannot force United States to sign this agreement, and it's like useless. So I don't think that Kyoto Protocol can make it better for this planet Earth. Thank you.
I disagree with Kyoto Protocol because it is extremely difficult to implement, costly and hazard. There are three implement mechanisms. First is in permit to emit greenhouse gases, and the second is joint implementation mechanism, and the third is clean development mechanism.
Kyoto Protocol actually show a little progress in reducing the emissions. Kyoto Protocol is just like an important symbol for the government to show that they're really concerned about the climate change, but in fact, as the instrument for reducing the emission, it has failed. Kyoto Protocol in these past few years has shown no demonstrable proofs that they can reduce the emissions, so it's no use.
I think the Kyoto Protocol will become a good solution, but not the best solution, because the children or the future generation will inherit whatever positive or negative impact the older generation do. By keeping the environmental destruction kept under control, the future generation will have a place to live in planet Earth. So this is what the exactly Kyoto Protocol promise. So I think the Kyoto Protocol will be the first step for human to seek sustainable development for the better future.
So if you ask me, should I agree or disagree with this Kyoto Protocol? I agree with this Kyoto Protocol because it's helped to curb the threat that will happen in the future mankind, our generation. Based on the research by scientists, in the next 100 years, the global temperature in the Earth will increase by 10 degrees. It's based on the considerable examination effect that happened in the industrialization by 150 years in our world. So, by the problem, the Kyoto Protocol could be limited the greenhouse gases that will increase, so it will decrease by this protocol.
December 2004, finally Indonesia ratified Kyoto Protocol in Regulation Number 17/2004. Indonesia will earn much profit from Kyoto Protocol by distributing funds. Indonesia will increase the ability of climate change adaptation. Through human resource, Indonesia has potential to reduce emission up to 300 million tons and estimated worth $1.26 billion. Other human resource activity prepared in Indonesia is to replace hydrocarbon energy with clean energy such as geothermal and solar cell. So I agree with Kyoto Protocol.
I agree with the Kyoto Protocol. Why I agree with the Kyoto Protocol? Because it is safer, it can save us, and it can save our planets. This is the best solution to make the Earth to be a better place for life. If we didn't agree with each other, the animal will be extinct. And if the Kyoto Protocol didn't exist, then the Earth will be the most place we care about it.
I agree with Kyoto Protocol because the country that approved Kyoto Protocol will strive to build lifestyle of society be healthier. The human activities tend to generate a lot of pollution, so we must minimize it. For example, in the term of transportation, we can use bicycle to go work or go to one place to another place. And the another example, how to treat the trash. Usually we just burn the trash, so we can produce a lot of carbon dioxide. So we can treat the trash with the principle of reduce, reuse, and recycle. So the activities that we can do, we can minimize contact with carbon dioxide.
I agree with the Kyoto Protocol because this treaty allows for additional rates of pollution for this country that are still developing or just beginning to develop, and hold the countries that are fully developed far more responsibility for lowering their emissions. It is very disappointing that the US is the only developing country that not signed in this treaty and acknowledge its responsibility to care for the environment. Thank you. We are agree with the Kyoto Protocol. The Kyoto Protocol reduces global warming process, although there are no big impact. The Kyoto Protocol is not being a solution, but it can be a control of global warming.
Ngomongnya aja sana. Halo.
Harus nyari-nyari sih.
Ya, aku nggak tahu ini keras. Aku belum pernah ngomong keras. Keras kecilnya sebenarnya nggak tahu. Nah, kita nggak punya kayak gini kan. Colokannya ada di sini, tapi nggak ada ini alatnya.